First thing we want to do once we have our musical mushroom is to install a mounting disc in our crystal singing bowl. So first of all, what types of bowl are suitable for use with the musical mushroom? Any frosted, clear, colored bowl will work fine. As a rule of thumb, a bowl that's at least 3 millimeters of sidewall width. So if I have a caliper here, mine is basically about 5 millimeters, but generally speaking, 3 millimeters and up is perfect. What you want to do is to avoid very thin-walled bowls. In particular, Crystal Tones makes the Alchemy series. Those are extremely sensitive to anything glued on them, and it alters the sound significantly. Same thing with gongs and Tibetan bowls, metal bowls. Those are not designed for use with the musical mushroom, but any other crystal singing bowl will do fine. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to install on the bowl something called a mounting disc. So this is a very lightweight, small piece of plastic. It's an adapter which has a thread here, a threaded interface. It also has a double-sided tape. So this thing is going to be installed, glued in, and it can stay permanently in your bowl. And you can leave it in the bowl. You can also remove it if you want. It doesn't leave residue. And then this interface is what we're going to use to install the exciter, and I'll get to that part shortly. So the first thing we want to do is we take one of our mounting discs. There are a pair of discs included in with every mushroom. They are also sold in 5-packs if you want to get more. So you're going to simply peel the little protective tape. You can keep that tape in case you want to remove the disc to put it back on to prevent the sticky adhesive from losing its stickiness. And then the idea is the following. The placement is important. Generally speaking, we're going to mount the disc inside the bowl. It can be mounted on the outside surface also, and I'll get to that later if you want to connect the musical mushroom through a computer and you don't want to have cables going in, managing the cables getting into the bowls. So, but for the most common case, we're going to install it inside. The elevation at which you mount this is important. So for the normal sized exciter, we want to be about 1/3 of the vertical height to 1/2. So a good rule of thumb is about halfway up. Secondly, the orientation is important, okay? We want the adhesive to be vertical. Why? Because this sticks to a curved surface, and I'm going to simulate this curve here with my hand. If you mount it like this, the middle part is not making good contact, you see? There's a gap. If I instead go like this, it's sticking properly. So we want this adhesive to make good contact all over its surface. So as long as this is in the up-down orientation, then we should be good. And again, I'm going to place it about halfway up here. So I just stick it, and then I can use my finger and press on it to make sure there's good contact. Just wiggle it back and forth. And that's it. So now the mounting disc is installed. The next thing we want to do is this mounting this. So this is called an exciter. So an exciter is basically an electromagnet. It has a little bit of a weight to it, and by energizing it with a current, you're able to make that little weight vibrate. So the weight is internal to the exciter. So it's like a speaker without the paper cone. So by itself, it doesn't make a sound. It's if it comes into contact with the surface, it'll make the surface vibrate. So the exciter comes in a protective housing. So what you do is you stick your finger in and your thumb, and you can lift. Sometimes they might be a little bit stuck, but if you pull hard enough, you should get them to unstick. So you can place this protective lid aside for now. When you're finished playing, you can unscrew the exciter, put it back into the protective housing, and you store it for transport. Okay, so in this case we want to be ready to play. So now the same threaded interface is on the inside here of the exciter. So we want to be careful not to drop this thing. Okay, so hold it carefully. I like to hold the cable in my fingers, in case I drop it, it's not going to fall into the bowl. So we're going to very delicately try and catch the thread and make sure we're not cross-threading. And then we're going to rotate. And we just want finger tight. We don't want to over tighten this thing. If you do, you might damage. If you don't tighten it enough, like if you can feel like a play, what's going to happen is when the bowl sings, you're going to hear a loud rattling sound. Okay, so we want it tight enough, but not over tight. The other thing we want is this part to be more or less either up or down. We don't want that part to be sideways. Okay, the reason is when this vibrates, this actually will move a little bit microscopically. But if your bowl is of a small diameter so that the curve is significant, this actually might come in contact and just hit on the bowl, and you'll hear a very loud rattling sound at full volume if that happens. So you should make sure it's approximately up and down. It could be 45 degrees, it's fine. You just want to make sure the gap here between the plastic is big enough. If for whatever reason you happen to have a mounting disc that when it's fully tight it's like this, you're going to have to unglue the disc, rotate it a little bit, and then glue it again. Of course, you remove the exciter first, unscrew it, and then you have access to the mounting disc this way. So I'm just going to, in normal use, you can leave this mounting disc glued permanently. It's not hurting anything, and you can still use your mallet and play your bowl with the disc in place. So it doesn't interfere with the normal play. When you want to use your musical mushroom, you screw the exciter on, use the mushroom, and you're done playing, you unscrew it, and you put it away. Some people ask about, what about nesting my bowls? So this is not a problem. I have a number of bowls here, and you can see the mounting discs leave enough gap that you can nest them without problems for transport. However, should you choose to remove them, let's say you're just playing temporarily in somebody's bowl and you want to remove it at the end of the performance. So there's two ways to do it. The first way is to just use your fingers, so time and pressure. You place your finger underneath, and you just will apply a fixed pressure over time. So you let it very slowly release, and eventually, if you're consistent, it will gently detach. And you don't want to go too fast so that you don't stretch or leave residues on the bowl. There you go. So you can reuse these a number of times, and eventually the adhesive will no longer stick like most adhesives do. Again, you can purchase replacements, and I just put back the protective film. This way it'll stay sticky, and you could probably use this a good dozen times at least, depending on the dust and finger grease and so on. So that's one way, and I'm going to do the other way now, which is a bit easier. So again, I'm going to reinstall it by peeling off the protective tape. I'm going to mount it again 1/3 to halfway up the bowl. Okay, there it is. And then in your kit, there is a tool called a mounting disc removal tool that has the mating thread here. If you don't have it, they're available for purchase on the website. And the idea is if you have long fingernails and so on and you don't like doing this and applying pressure, well, this will give you a lever, so you just screw it on. And then you just use it as a lever and you just gently press down. And then the adhesive will, again, it's important to go really slow. Otherwise the adhesive might detach. If it is, then you simply use your fingers and you remove it. But yeah, generally speaking, if you take your time, it comes off very nicely. And then you can put back the protective strip. And there you go. This is how you remove it. It's very easy. But again, most people will actually just leave it in place if they play in their own bowls. So I'm going to put it back on. There we go. Now that the exciter is screwed on, and this is approximately vertical, we're going to install now the musical mushroom in the bowl. So the first thing I want to talk about is this latch here. This is a musical mushroom. It has a removable cover, and inside there is a silicone O-ring. This O-ring is important. You're going to place it in your bowl, in the center roughly, and this is what it's going to rest on. So this O-ring is flexible and it will protect your bowl and it will not make any rattling sounds. Now the idea is once it's positioned in your bowl, you want to click the connector in place, so you'll hear a click, and now the unit is ready to be used. I do want to talk again about this latching mechanism. So this connector has a little lever. This is a lock. Right now it's locked in place. I can't remove it. If you pull really hard, you will rip the thing off the circuit board, and it needs a full circuit board replacement, so be very delicate with it. Do not yank, twist, pull really hard. The trick is you take your fingernail and you just press on the lever to unlock it, and then it comes right off. Okay, practice makes perfect. I'm going to show you just a little zoomed in view of this. So this is the lever. So if I squeeze with my fingernail, it will go up and it releases. There's a little clip underneath, or a little space that latches. So yeah, this is what you pull, you squeeze it, and then you pull out. And then when you click it back in, you'll hear a click, squeeze the lever, pull. Okay, so if you do it properly, there shouldn't be a difficult struggle to remove the connector. So the last thing that we want to be aware of, so I'm going to place again the exciter onto the mounting disc. I'm going to connect the connector onto the mushroom. Hear the click. When you mount this thing, this little black lens here is a light sensor. It sends light pulses, and the pulse looks like an inverted cone. Okay, it's important that you don't have anything inside, because it will detect your hand or the first object it sees. The problem is sometimes if you have a small diameter bowl, this cable can end up over. So what happens is the light pulse bounces off the cable and says, I'm seeing a hand this far away, right? So that's not good. So what we want to do is we want to either rotate, reposition the cable. You don't want the cable to touch the sidewall, but you also don't want it to be covering the center portion. So this is perfect right here. Okay, so that's the other thing that you want to be concerned of. And then the other thing that I get asked sometimes is the battery life. Some people, the normal battery life will be somewhere between 3 to 4 hours, depending on the color of the LED and the animation you select. That's what burns the most power. If you want a longer performance, you can just get an off-the-shelf USB battery pack. There's a lot of different vendors, as long as it has a USB Type-C connector. And you would have to figure out a way to mount this properly. I'm just giving you an example. So you might put a little cardboard box underneath, plug it in, make sure no cables cover the sensor. And this specific battery pack will give me 16 hours of continuous play. So it is okay to connect a USB cable while you're using the unit. You could also have it plugged into the wall with the adapter while using it for long periods of time. It just needs cable management, so you want to make sure that the cables are not touching the bowl. So that's another option. I was saying before, you can mount an exciter on the outside surface if you want. I'm going to just mount this one right here. And sometimes it's a little bit less sticky. The surface is a bit more rough, so you have to make sure that everything is stuck properly. Then another thing that's important is anytime you unscrew an exciter, always unplug first. Never, never, never unscrew this while it's connected, because it's going to twist the cable and it's going to damage the connection inside. So first I'm going to squeeze the latch, disconnect it. I'm going to remove this thing from the bowl for now. Remove the exciter, and then I can screw it on the outside surface. So that works quite well. Now when it's on the outside, of course, your mushroom is no longer inside the bowl. It's going to be located on the outside. And now you're going to have to play off with your hand off, not over on top of the bowl, but over the mushroom. You also want the mushroom to be far enough away so that the light beam doesn't hit the side of the bowl. I do sell an extension cable that gives you the ability to extend the length of this cable by 2 meters, which is quite long. So that's an optional accessory that you can use. So these are all different options that you have to install the musical mushroom inside your crystal singing bowl. And once everything is set up, you are ready for the next step, which is the bowl calibration.